I'm 34.
Married to Sarah for 8 years. 2 kids, Maya, 5, and Leo, 3. Normal suburban life. Beige polo, silver Honda, fence that needs painting. The kind of life people kill for. I was happy. That's the cruelest part. I was genuinely, stupidly, embarrassingly happy. Year 6 of the marriage got quiet. Not bad. Not angry. Just quiet. Sarah stopped reaching for my hand in the car. Stopped sending random texts. Sex went from twice a week to twice a month to "I'm really tired tonight, babe." I asked her about it gently one night. Is everything okay between us? She didn't look up from her phone. Everything's fine, Daniel. You're just in your head again. I was in my head. But I was also watching my wife smile at a screen while giving me nothing. The phone. That's where it started. In March, Sarah announced she was hiring a personal trainer. I want to get back in shape. For me. Not for you. I thought that was healthy. I encouraged it. I offered to pay. His name was Mark. 29. Former college wrestler. Now a holistic fitness consultant with shirtless Instagram reels and captions like "Discipline is freedom." Jawline like a knife. Smile like he'd never been rejected. Sarah showed me his profile. Isn't he professional looking? I looked at a photo of Mark next to a squat rack, veins popping, shorts leaving nothing to the imagination. Very professional, I said. I'm not a jealous man. Jealousy is for insecure boys. So I smiled and went back to folding laundry. 3 weeks in, Sarah came home with a new sports bra. Pink. Lace trimmed. The kind you don't wear to Planet Fitness. Mark says I have the body of a woman 10 years younger. That's nice of him to notice. She didn't catch my tone. Or didn't care. That night she was on her phone until 1 a.m. When I rolled over to see what was interesting, she tilted the screen away. Just messaging the girls. Sarah hasn't had a group chat since 2019. The exact moment I knew something was wrong? A Tuesday, 11:47 p.m. Sarah was in the bathroom with the door locked. New behavior. Her phone was on the nightstand. Face up. Screen lit. WhatsApp message from Mark, fitness. Same time tomorrow. I can't stop thinking about how you looked in those leggings. My heart stopped. Then restarted at double speed. Toilet flushed. I shoved the phone back exactly where it was. Grabbed a book I hadn't opened in years. Sarah came out. Looked at me. Looked at the phone. Looked back. You okay? You look pale. Just tired. She picked up the phone, scrolled, smiled, climbed into bed with her back to me. I lay there in the dark listening to her thumbs tap for another hour. For 2 weeks I did nothing. I watched. I waited. Her gym bag had 2 outfits now, one for training, one for errands after. She wore perfume to the gym. Perfume. To sweat in. She came home at 9 p.m. one night, sessions ended at 7, and said traffic was bad. There is no traffic between Mark's gym and our house. 12 minutes. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry. I didn't even get angry yet. I opened my laptop at 2 a.m. while she slept and Googled how to catch a cheating spouse digitally. The 4th result changed everything. A forum post recommending a digital forensic service. Not a cheap spy app. A real firm that extracted deleted messages and built court admissible evidence. Cost $3,500. I paid that night. Credit card. Fake name. The agent, a woman named Val with a voice like gravel and cigarettes, called the next morning. You sure you want to do this, Daniel? Once I pull the trigger, I see everything. No take-backs. Pull the trigger. Give me 48 hours. Val sent a link 46 hours later. Secure folder. Password protected. Screenshots, message logs, timestamps, geolocation. I opened the first file at 10 p.m. Kids were asleep. Sarah was at a late yoga class. February 14th, Valentine's Day. Mark, you look amazing tonight. Does he even notice you anymore? Sarah, he got me a card from CVS. A card. With a bear on it. Mark, you deserve diamonds. Or at least someone who knows how to touch you. Sarah, stop smirking face. Mark, I won't. That's the difference between him and me. He stops. I don't. 3 days later. Sarah, I can't stop thinking about your hands. Mark, my hands? Wait until you see the rest of me. Sarah, tell me where. Mark, Red Roof Inn, Route 9. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Room 112. Wear nothing under your coat. I threw up. Right there at my desk. Into my office trash can. I kept reading. I needed to know how deep the hole went. I found a thread where they rated me. Not my personality. Not my parenting. My sexual performance. Mark, how was last night? Sarah, same as always. 3 pumps and a grunt. I timed it. 47 seconds. Mark, face with tears of joy 47? That's a new record for him. Sarah, I just close my eyes and pretend it's you. Sometimes I whisper your name under your breath. He's too stupid to notice. Mark, you're so bad. I love it. Sarah, I love you. And I love that he'll never know. I closed the laptop. Opened it. Closed it again. Then I walked to the bathroom and looked at myself in the mirror. Beige polo. Soft jaw. Kind eyes that had never hurt anyone. 47 seconds, I whispered. The man in the mirror didn't answer. But something behind his eyes changed. Something cold. Something patient. Daniel the beige polo was about to die. And someone else was going to take his place. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the dark living room with Waffles the golden retriever snoring at my feet and watched the clock tick from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. My mind wasn't racing. It was marching. One cold, deliberate step at a time. I needed more evidence before I blew up my life. Texts were bad. But I needed something physical. Something a judge could hold. Val emailed me again at 7 a.m. Daniel, there's something else. Check the drive labeled home_network. I found a device connected to your Wi-Fi that doesn't belong to you or Sarah. I opened the file. A list of every device on my home network. Phones, tablets, laptops, smart TV, kids' tablets, the printer that never works. And one more. Labeled IP_cam_XM_7823. I don't own a security camera. Neither does Sarah. Where is this thing? I typed back. Val replied within 2 minutes. Can't tell from here. But it's transmitting video. 24/7. The feed goes to an external server registered to a guy named Mark Telford. Mark Telford. Mark. The fitness coach. My blood turned to ice water. Val kept going. Daniel, I need you to listen to me carefully. This camera has been active for 23 days. It records in 1080p. It has night vision and audio. Someone has been watching and listening to everything in whatever room that camera is in for nearly a month. I walk through my house like a stranger. Kitchen. Living room. Kids' rooms. Bathroom. Guest room. Basement. Master bedroom. I stood in the doorway and looked at every surface. Every shelf. Every corner. The ceiling fan spun slowly overhead, doing nothing because it was March and the heat was still on. The ceiling fan. I pulled a chair from the desk in the corner, stood on it, looked at the base of the fan where the motor housing met the ceiling. There it was. A tiny black lens. No bigger than a pencil eraser. Wedged into a gap in the plastic housing, pointed directly at the bed. It was so small I wouldn't have seen it if I wasn't looking. And I wasn't looking. For 23 days, I wasn't looking. I climbed down, sat on the edge of the bed, put my head in my hands. She let him watch. My wife. The mother of my children. The woman who whispered "You're my rock" on our wedding day. She had sex with me while her boyfriend watched on a live stream. Probably laughed about it afterward. Probably rated that performance too. I didn't cry. I couldn't. The cold thing behind my eyes was fully awake now. I called Val. It's in the bedroom ceiling fan. Pointed at the bed. A long pause. Then, I'm sorry, Daniel. Don't be sorry. Be useful. Can you hack the feed?
No.
It's a cheap Chinese unit with basic encryption. But I don't need to hack it. I can see it. What do you mean you can see it? I mean the server it streams to is poorly configured. I can't change anything, but I can watch exactly what Mark watches. In real time. And can he see me right now?
No.
The camera only activates when motion is detected. It's in standby. But Daniel, listen. If I can see the feed, I can add something to it. A man in the middle overlay. Basically, I can put text or images on top of the video without touching the camera itself. Mark would see whatever I put there, but Sarah wouldn't know because she's not watching the stream. She's just the performer. I thought about that for a long time. How long would it take to set that up? 2 days. Maybe 3. Do it. Daniel, are you sure? Once I do this, you're not just a victim anymore. You're a participant. You need to think about that. I've been thinking about nothing else for 48 hours. Do it. Okay. I'll send you instructions when it's ready. She hung up. I sat on the bed for another hour. Then I went downstairs, made breakfast for the kids, kissed Sarah on the cheek when she stumbled into the kitchen in her robe, and said, "Have a good day, honey." She smiled at me. The same smile she gave Mark in those texts. "Love you," she said. "Love you too," I said. I didn't mean a single word. Over the next 3 days, I watched Sarah like a scientist studying a specimen. Every text she sent. Every time she laughed at her phone. Every time she said she was going to the gym and came back with flushed cheeks and messy hair that wasn't from sweating. Thursday night, she went to yoga at 8 p.m. Was gone until 11. I checked her location through the family tracking app we installed years ago for safety. It said she was at the yoga studio. But Val had shown me how to see the secondary location data. The phone was spoofing. Sarah was actually at a motel 615 miles away. I drove there, parked across the street, watched the window of room 17. The lights were on. Shadows moved behind the cheap curtains. 2 shadows, moving together. I stayed for 20 minutes. Then I went home, washed my face, and waited for her to come back. She walked in at 11:15, smelling like hotel soap and someone else's cologne. "How was yoga?" I asked from the couch. "Really good. Tough flow. I'm sorry."
You bet.
She didn't catch the edge in my voice. She never did. Friday morning, Val sent me a message. "Overlay is ready. You can add text to the live stream that only Mark will see. What do you want it to say?" I thought about it. Then I typed back. "Not yet. I need more time. And I need a different kind of help." "What kind?" "Do you know any actors?" A pause. Then, "How weird of an actor are we talking?" "The weirdest you've got." Val laughed for the first time. It was a dry, cigarette-rattled sound. I know exactly who to call. Val sent me a text at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Just a name and a phone number. Dmitry Volkov. 646-555-8912. Tell him Val sent you. He owes me. I called the number. A man answered on the second ring. His voice was deep, the kind of deep that vibrates through the phone and into your chest. "Yeah." "Val gave me your number. She said you might be able to help me with a situation." "What kind of situation?" "I need someone who can act. Specifically, I need someone who can pretend to be someone else in a very unusual environment." A long pause. I could hear him chewing something. "How much?" $2,000 for 1 night. Maybe 4 hours of work. More chewing. Then, "What's the address? And what am I pretending to be?" I told him everything. The camera. Sarah. Mark. The plan forming in my head. I left nothing out. When I finished, Dmitry laughed. It was a slow, rumbling sound. "You American husbands are something else. In my country, we just use a shovel and a forest. This is America. We use lawyers and humiliation." "Fair enough. Send me the address. I'll be there at 9 p.m. on the night you need me. But I have conditions." "Name them." "First, I don't touch anyone unless they touch me first. I'm an actor, not a criminal. Second, I need a script. Word for word. I don't improvise. Third, if things go sideways, I'm gone. No questions. I keep the $2,000 either way. Done. Done. And done. One more thing. What? Val said you were hurt. She said you were the kind of hurt that doesn't yell. The kind that plans. I like that. I'll text you my measurements. Buy me clothes that make me look like a gym guy. Tight shirt. Tight pants. Something that shows all the work I've put in at the actual gym. Sending you money for clothes right now. Smart man. See you soon. He hung up. I sat in my car in the Home Depot parking lot and stared at the phone. I had a co-conspirator. Now I needed a script. Sunday was research day. Sarah took the kids to her mother's house for the afternoon, which gave me 6 hours alone. I used every minute. I went through every message Val had extracted, every inside joke between Sarah and Mark, every nickname, every fantasy they'd typed out in late-night texts. I made a list. Mark called himself the Beast in their private chats. He told Sarah he was bigger, stronger, better in every way. He bragged about his wrestling career, state champion, 184-pound division, never pinned in his senior year. Sarah ate it up. She called him her alpha. She told him she loved feeling small and helpless next to him. I wrote all of it down. Then I went to a costume shop, bought a cheap wig that looked like Mark's haircut, bought a fake wrestling singlet, the kind they wear in high school matches, bought a cheap gold medal on a ribbon. I was building a prop kit for Dimitri, a costume within a costume. He wasn't just going to be any stranger. He was going to be Mark's dark mirror, the thing Mark pretended to be but wasn't. Monday came. Sarah announced she was going to the gym at 7 p.m. Then, casually, too casually, she mentioned Mark was having some people over for a viewing party afterward. A viewing party. For the camera feed. She was going to watch herself with Mark while Mark watched. Some kind of sick long-distance date. I smiled and said, "Have fun, honey." She left at 6:45. I waited 10 minutes. Then I went into the bedroom and stood under the ceiling fan. The camera was there. Watching. Waiting. Recording nothing because I wasn't moving. I looked directly into the lens. "Hi, Mark," I said quietly. "Enjoying the show? It's about to get a lot more interesting." Then I left the room and started making calls. First call was to Dimitri. "Tomorrow night. 9 p.m. Be at this address. I'll text you the script in 2 hours. Send it. I'll memeize." Second call was to Val. "The overlay. I'm ready to test it. Give me 5 minutes. I'll send you a link to a private dashboard. Whatever you type, there will appear on Mark's stream as a scrolling banner at the bottom of his screen. He won't be able to remove it. Won't be able to see where it's coming from. It'll just be there, like a ghost." Perfect. I typed my first test message. "Hello, Mark. Did you think I wouldn't find out?" Val confirmed it was live. "I can see it on the feed," she said. "He's watching right now, actually. He just froze. He's staring at the screen." Good. He's picking up his phone. He's texting someone. Probably Sarah. Let him. She's at the gym. She won't see it for another hour. "Daniel, you're scaring me a little." Good. Tuesday. The day before the plan. Sarah left for work at 8 a.m. I called in sick. I had too much to do. First, I drove to Mark's gym. I didn't go inside. I sat in the parking lot and watched for an hour. I needed to know his routine. When he arrived. When he left. What car he drove. What he looked like when he didn't know anyone was watching. He drove a black BMW. He parked in the back corner of the lot, away from other cars. He walked with a swagger, chest out, arms swinging, like he owned the sidewalk. He was handsome. I'll admit that. Taller than me. Wider shoulders. The kind of jaw that makes women on Instagram tap the heart button. But his eyes were flat. Dead. The eyes of someone who had never been told no and had forgotten how to hear it. I took photos. Sent them to Dimitri. This is the man you're pretending to be. Dimitri replied, he looks like a douchebag. Easy. I spent the afternoon at a hardware store. Bought a remote-controlled circuit breaker. It looked like a normal light switch but could cut power to the entire house with a button on a key fob.
No noise.
No warning. Just darkness. I installed it in the garage, hidden behind a shelf of paint cans. Tested it 3 times. Worked perfectly. Then I went to a hotel 3 blocks from my house. Booked a room under a fake name. Paid cash. Checked in as Michael Thompson. I brought a duffel bag. Inside, a change of clothes, the 4K night vision camera, a power bank, and a printed copy of the script for Dimitri. That night, Sarah came home at 10 p.m. Flushed. Happy. Smelling like Mark's cologne again. Long workout. I asked from the bed. The best, she said, climbing in next to me. She was wearing lingerie under her jacket. I saw it when she hung the jacket in the closet. Daniel, she said, turning off the light. I love you. You know that, right? Her hand found mine in the dark. I know, I said. She squeezed. I didn't squeeze back. She fell asleep in 7 minutes. I counted her breaths. Slow. Steady. Peaceful. The woman next to me had no idea what was coming. I stared at the ceiling. At the tiny black eye in the fan. Tomorrow, that I was going to see something it couldn't unsee. I smiled in the dark. Then I closed my eyes and waited for morning. Wednesday. The day. I woke up at 6 a.m. before Sarah's alarm. Made coffee. Made breakfast for the kids. Packed their lunches. Normal day. Normal Daniel. Sarah stumbled downstairs at 7:15 wearing one of my old t-shirts and nothing else. She kissed my cheek. Poured coffee. Scrolled her phone. Big day at work, she asked. Regular day. Some meetings. Nothing special. Mark has a new client coming in at noon. Some influencer. He's nervous. Mark gets nervous. Everyone gets nervous, Daniel. Sure. She left for work at 8:30. I stood at the window and watched her car disappear around the corner. Then I pulled out my phone and texted Dimitri. Tonight. 9 p.m. Don't be late. Wouldn't dream of it. Send me the final script again. I sent it. A full page of dialogue. Every line choreographed. Every pause timed. Dimitri was going to play the role of a lifetime. Then I called Val. Is the overlay ready? Ready and waiting. What do you want the banner to say during the main event? Let me think about it. I'll send you the text an hour before showtime. You're enjoying this too much, Daniel. Maybe. You need to see someone after this. A therapist. Not a hacker. Noted. I spent the morning cleaning the house. Not because it needed it. Because I needed to move. Needed to do something with my hands. Every surface I wiped, I imagined Sarah's hands on Mark's body. Every dish I washed, I imagined the messages they sent about me. At noon, I drove to the hotel. Room 217. Checked my duffel bag. The 4K camera was fully charged. The power bank was full. The script was printed on fresh white paper. I laid out Dimitri's costume on the hotel bed. Tight black t-shirt. Black jeans. A fake gold chain. A cheap watch that looked expensive. And the wig, cut and styled to look exactly like Mark's hair. I held up the wig. Looked at it. Tonight, I whispered. At 3 p.m., I sent Sarah a text. Work trip. Chicago. Flight leaves at 7. I'll be back Friday. Love you. She replied 2 minutes later. Okay. Safe flight. Love you too. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then, what hotel? I didn't answer that question. Instead, I sent a fake confirmation email I'd prepared days ago. A screenshot of a fake booking at the Chicago Marriott. She wouldn't check. But if she did, it was there. At 5 p.m., I drove home. Sarah was already there, weirdly. She said she left work early to get some things done around the house. She was wearing makeup. Heavy makeup. The kind she wore on date nights. Date nights with me, 3 years ago. You look nice, I said. Just wanted to feel pretty, she said. Nothing wrong with that. She was getting ready for Mark. Mark was coming over. Not to the house. He never came to the house. But he was going to watch. And she wanted to look good for the camera. I felt the cold thing behind my eyes stretch and yawn. I'm going to pack, I said. I went to the bedroom, closed the door, pulled an empty suitcase from the closet, threw in a few shirts, some socks, a laptop I didn't need, made it look real. Then I stood under the ceiling fan again, looked at the lens. Tonight, I mouthed silently. At 6:30 p.m., I kissed Sarah goodbye at the front door. She hugged me longer than usual. Squeezed tighter. Come back soon, she said. Wouldn't miss it. I got in my car, drove to the end of the street, pulled over behind a row of bushes, turned off the engine, watched my house through the rearview mirror. At 6:45 p.m., Sarah closed the curtains. All of them. Front windows. Side windows. The bedroom curtains were already drawn. At 7 p.m., the lights in the bedroom came on. I could see her silhouette moving behind the curtains, changing clothes, fixing her hair, getting ready for her audience of one. At 7:30 p.m., my phone buzzed. Val, he's online. Watching the feed. He just sent her a text. Want me to forward it? Me? Yes. The text came through. Mark to Sarah, get comfortable. I want a good view tonight. Sarah's reply, the chump is gone until Friday. We have the house to ourselves. Well, almost to ourselves. Mark, I like it when you call him that. Sarah, I know you do. I put the phone down, took a breath, then another. At 8 p.m., I texted Dimitri. Heading to the house now. Meet me at the back gate in 30 minutes. Bring nothing but yourself. Already here, he replied. I've been watching from the street for an hour. She's doing some kind of dance in the living room. Alone. Is she always like this? Only when she thinks she has an audience.
Sad.
Yeah. I started the car, drove slowly, parked 3 houses down, walked the rest of the way in the dark. The neighborhood was quiet. No one outside.
No dogs barking.
Perfect. The back gate was unlocked. I'd left it that way in the morning. I slipped through, walked along the side of the house to the garage. Dimitri was already there, leaning against the wall, dressed exactly as I'd asked. He looked like a completely different person in the costume. The wig changed everything. In the dim light, he could have been Mark's taller, scarier brother. Script memorized. I whispered. Every word. Performance notes. Don't break character. Don't touch unless touched first. When you hear the power cut, you hide under the bed. When the lights come back, you start. Good. Here. I handed him the fake gold medal on a ribbon. Put this on at the end. Right before I come out of the closet. The medal. Mark was a state champion wrestler. He talks about it like it's his entire personality. You're going to wear his medal, his haircut, his cologne. You're going to be the man he pretends to be. Dimitri put the medal around his neck. It glinted in the moonlight. I like you, Daniel. You're creative.
I'm tired.
There's a difference. At 8:55 p.m., I crept to the bedroom window, peeked through a gap in the curtains. Sarah was on the bed, lying on her stomach, scrolling her phone, wearing nothing but black lace and a smile. The camera in the ceiling fan blinked once. Red light. Active. Recording. Streaming. Mark was watching. I pulled out my phone.
Narrated Val.
Send the overlay now. Banner text. Tonight's show is brought to you by the husband you thought was gone. Sent. It's live on his feed. I imagined Mark sitting in his apartment, phone in one hand, drink in the other, watching my wife pose for him. Then seeing the text scroll across the bottom of his screen. His confusion. His pause. His growing dread. I smiled. Then I pulled out the key fob for the remote circuit breaker. And I waited for 9 p.m. 9 p.m. I pressed the button on the key fob. The house went dark. Every light. Every appliance. Every hum of electricity just stopped. The silence was immediate and total. From inside the bedroom, I heard Sarah gasp. A soft, confused sound. "Hello." Her voice floated through the window. "Daniel? Is that you?" Silence. The power must have tripped, she said to herself. Louder now, talking to the camera, talking to Mark. "Hold on. Let me find my phone." I heard her fumbling in the dark. The rustle of sheets. The click of a phone screen lighting up. Inside the garage, Dimitri moved. Silent. Quick. He slipped through the back door I'd left unlocked, padded down the hall in his bare feet, and entered the bedroom while Sarah's phone light was pointed at the ceiling. She didn't see him. He dropped to the floor, rolled under the bed, disappeared into the shadows. I counted to 10 in my head. Then I pressed the button again. The lights flickered, hummed, returned. Sarah blinked in the sudden brightness. Her phone was in her hand. Mark was on the screen, a FaceTime call that had connected during the blackout. "Did you see that?" she whispered. The whole house just went dark. Mark's face on the screen was pale, stiff. He wasn't looking at Sarah's face. He was looking at something behind her. Something in the room. "Mark, what's wrong?" He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. "Behind you," he said. Sarah turned. Saw nothing. The bedroom was empty. Clean. Normal. "Behind me where?" Under the bed." Sarah laughed. A nervous, too high sound. "You're messing with me." Mark shook his head. His eyes were wide. "I'm not. I saw something. Someone." The feed glitched for a second and I saw legs. Legs going under your bed. Sarah looked down. The bed skirt hung to the floor. Dust ruffles. Nothing visible. "You're paranoid," she said. The power surge probably messed with the camera. Then the bed moved. Not much. Just a bump. A shift. Like someone had rolled over underneath the slats. Sarah froze. "Mark," she whispered. "Did you feel that?" I saw it. The bed moved again. Harder this time. The headboard knocked against the wall. Sarah scrambled off the mattress. Stood in the middle of the room. Her phone clattered to the carpet. Mark's voice came out of the speaker, tinny and distant. "Get out of there. Sarah, get out." A hand emerged from under the bed. Large hand. Thick fingers. A silver ring on the middle finger that caught the light. Then a voice. Deep. Growling. Unfamiliar. "Did you miss me, Sarah?" She screamed. A real scream. The kind that comes from somewhere primal. Dimitri stood up from behind the far side of the bed. He was tall. Impossibly tall in the dim light. The wig was slightly askew, which made him look unhinged. The fake gold medal swung against his chest. Sarah backed into the wall. Her hands searched behind her for the door. "Who the fuck are you?" she gasped. Dimitri tilted his head. Smiled. Mark's cologne wafted across the room. "I'm the man Mark sent," he said. Script line 1. Perfect delivery. "Mark sent you." No. No, he didn't. He did. He said you like it rough when the chump is away. He said you've been a very bad girl. Sarah's eyes went to the phone on the floor. Mark was shouting now. She couldn't hear the words, but the tone was clear. Anger. Confusion. Fear. Dimitri took a step closer. "Mark's watching," he said. "He wants to see if you're loyal. He wants to see if you'll do what he says." "I don't believe you." Dimitri pulled out his own phone. Held up the screen. On it was a fake text thread I'd created earlier. Messages that looked like they were from Mark's number, telling Dimitri to go to the house, to test her, to see what she would do. Sarah read the screen. Her face changed. Confusion became uncertainty. Uncertainty became something else. Dimitri put the phone away. "Last chance, Sarah. Mark is watching. Are you going to make him happy? Or are you going to disappoint him like you disappoint your husband?" Sarah's chin trembled. Then her shoulders relaxed. Then she took a step forward. "What does he want me to do?" Mark's voice from the floor. "Sarah, don't. That's not me. I didn't send him." She didn't hear him. Or didn't want to hear him. Dimitri smiled again. Wider this time. Everything, he said. Mark wants you to do everything. He closed the distance between them in 2 strides. And Sarah let him. I watched from the crack in the curtains. The 4K camera in my hand recorded every frame. The night vision was crystal clear. She reached for him. Her hands found his chest, his shoulders, his neck. Mark was screaming through the phone. She kicked it under the bed without looking. Dimitri whispered something in her ear. I couldn't hear what, but I saw her shiver, saw her nod. Then he picked her up, like she weighed nothing, carried her to the bed, laid her down, and the show began. The next 45 minutes were the strangest of my life. I stood at the bedroom window, hidden in the shadow of the oak tree, recording everything. The 4K camera's night vision painted the scene in soft green tones. Every touch, every whisper, every sound. Dimitri was good. Better than I expected. He followed the script but added flourishes of his own, pauses that built tension, glances at the ceiling fan that reminded Sarah she was being watched, throwaway lines that sounded improvised but weren't. Mark likes this angle better, he said at one point, repositioning her. He told me you look best from the left. Sarah moaned. Actually moaned. Not from pleasure, from performance. She was acting for the camera, for Mark, for her own reflection in the mirror across the room. Mark's phone lay under the bed, still connected. I could hear his muffled shouts during quiet moments. Begging. Threatening. Promising. Sarah ignored all of it. At one point, Dimitri paused. Looked directly at the ceiling fan. The camera lens. Mark, he said, loud and clear. She's better than you described. Much better. You should have kept her for yourself. A beat. Then he continued. Sarah laughed. A breathless, giddy sound. He's so jealous, she whispered. He hates watching. That's why he likes it. Dimitri didn't respond. He was counting in his head, staying on schedule. I'd told him to stretch the encounter to at least 40 minutes. He was pacing himself like a marathon runner. I checked my phone. Val had been texting updates. Val, Mark is losing his mind. He's called Sarah 7 times. She's not answering. He just threw something at his wall. I heard it through the mic on his end. Val, he's typing a long message to her now. Want me to forward it? Me. Yes. The message came through. Mark to Sarah. I didn't send him. That's not my guy. I don't know who that is. Answer your fucking phone. Sarah. Answer. I'm not joking. That's a stranger. You're with a stranger. Sarah, please. She didn't see it. Her phone was on the carpet near the door. She was busy. I watched her run her fingers through Dimitri's hair. The wig shifted. She didn't notice. Or didn't care. 30 minutes in, Dimitri called for a water break. He was a professional, kept bottles in his jacket pocket. He handed one to Sarah. She drank like she'd just finished a workout. Mark's still watching, Dimitri said, nodding at the fan. Sarah looked up, smiled, waved. Hi, baby, she said. Having fun. Mark's voice from under the bed. Sarah. Stop. Please. She didn't hear him. Or pretended not to. Dimitri checked his watch. Almost imperceptible. He was exactly on schedule. 35 minutes. He switched positions. Kept his face away from the camera when possible. I'd warned him that Mark might try to screenshot and identify him later. The wig helped. The angle helped. 40 minutes. Dimitri slowed down. Started building toward the finale. The script called for the fake medal to come into play now. He reached up. Touched the gold ribbon around his neck. You know what this is? He asked. Sarah shook her head. State championship. 184 pounds. Never pinned. Mark told me about it. Said you loved hearing the story. Said you made him tell it every time. Sarah's eyes went soft. Dreamy. Tell it again, she whispered. Dimitri laughed. No. I don't tell stories. I make them. 42 minutes. Sarah was fully lost now. Whatever hesitation she'd felt at the beginning was gone. She wasn't performing for Mark anymore. She was performing for herself. 45 minutes. Dimitri caught my eye through the window. A tiny nod. Showtime. He sat up, pushed Sarah gently onto her back, looked at the ceiling fan. Mark, he said. Thanks for sharing. She's a lot of fun. But I think your time's up. Sarah frowned. What? Dimitri stood up, walked to the closet, opened the door. Your husband wanted me to give you a message, he said. Sarah sat up. Confusion. Then annoyance. Then the first flicker of real fear. My husband is in Chicago. Is he? The closet light clicked on, and I stepped out. I stepped out of the closet. The 4K camera was still recording, tucked into my jacket pocket with the lens peeking through the zipper gap. Night vision off now. The closet light was bright. Harsh.
No hiding.
Sarah stared at me. Her mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. No sound came out. Her brain was trying to solve a math problem that had no answer. Husband. Chicago. Closet. Not possible. But here. I looked at her. Really looked. She was naked except for the black lace, now twisted and pushed aside. Her hair was a mess. Dimitri's fingers had been through it 100 times. Her lipstick was smeared across her cheek, her chin, the pillow. She looked like a stranger. A stranger wearing my wife's face. Hi, Sarah, I said. My voice was calm. Too calm. The cold thing behind my eyes was running the show now. She finally found her voice. A croak. Daniel. Daniel. This isn't. I can explain. Explain what? That you've been filming us for Mark? That you rated my performance on a scale of 1 to 10? That you called me the chump while you were in my bed, wearing my sheets, pretending I was in? Her face went white. Then red. Then white again. You knew. I've known everything. 4 weeks. Every hotel room. Every text. Every time you looked me in the eye and lied. I have all of it, Sarah. Screenshots. Receipts. Video. I pointed at the ceiling fan. Speaking of video, Mark's been watching this whole time. Every second. He saw you with Dimitri. He saw you choose a stranger over him. He saw you wave at the camera and call him baby while he was begging you to stop. I pulled out my phone, held it up so she could see the screen. Val had opened a live view of Mark's stream, the same feed he was watching, but with our overlay. The banner at the bottom scrolled in red letters. Sarah prefers strangers. Thanks for playing, Mark. Look, I said. He's still watching. Right now. He sees you. Naked. Crying. Sitting in a bed that isn't his. How does that feel, Mark? Watching your girlfriend fall apart because she got caught. Sarah grabbed for my phone. I pulled it back. No. You don't get to touch anything. You don't get to explain. You don't get to cry and tell me it didn't mean anything. Because we both know it meant everything. It meant so much you let him install a camera in our bedroom. Our bedroom. Where our children have never been because you said it was our space. Her eyes darted to Dimitri. He was standing by the window, arms crossed, face neutral. The wig was still on. The fake medal still swung from his neck. Who is he? She whispered. He's the man you just spent 45 minutes with. The man you thought Mark sent. The man you touched. Kissed. Begged for more from. Tears started falling. Real tears. Or what looked like real tears. Daniel, please. I love you. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But I love you. The kids. I held up my hand. She stopped. Don't. Do not say the kids' names. You don't get to use them as a shield. You don't get to hide behind Maya and Leo while you were whispering someone else's name in this bed. While you were letting him watch us. While you were laughing at me with him. I walked to the nightstand. Picked up her phone. The screen was cracked. She must have stepped on it. But it still worked. Mark's messages flooded the lock screen. 14 unread texts. 3 missed calls. I held it up to the ceiling fan. Mark, I know you're still watching. I want you to hear this. She's done with you. Not because she chose me. Because she chose herself. And in the morning, Every single message you two send each other is going to my lawyer. So enjoy your last few hours of freedom." I dropped her phone onto the carpet, turned back to Sarah. "Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to walk out that door. I'm going to my hotel. Tomorrow morning, my lawyer is filing for divorce. The grounds are adultery and illegal surveillance. That's a felony, Sarah. Prison time. Mark will be named as a co-conspirator." She was sobbing now. Ugly sobs. Mascara running down her face. You wouldn't do that to the kids." "I wouldn't have done any of this. But you did. You did all of it. Every choice. Every lie. Every time you came home smelling like him and kissed me goodnight. Those were your choices. Now you get to live with them." I picked up my duffel bag from the closet. Sling it over my shoulder. Dimitri pushed off from the window. Walked to the door. Paused. Looked at Sarah. "For what it's worth," he said. "He really did love you. I could tell. That's why this hurts him so much. You didn't just cheat. You made him a spectator in his own humiliation." He walked out. I followed. Stopped in the doorway. Looked back at her one last time. She was curled on the bed. Naked. Shaking. The black lace was tangled around her ankles. The ceiling fan spun slowly overhead, the tiny red light of the camera still blinking. I pointed at the fan. "Mark, one more thing. If you ever come near my family again, I won't hire an actor. I'll come myself. And I promise you, I won't follow a script." I closed the door behind me. Dimitri was waiting in the living room. He handed me the wig and the medal. "You did good," he said.
No.
"You did good. I just watched." Watching is its own skill. Most people can't do it. They react. You observed. There's a difference. I pulled out my phone. Transferred the remaining payment. There's an extra $500 in there. For the improved. The spectator in his own humiliation line was perfect. Dimitri smiled. That wasn't improved. That was just the truth. He walked to the front door. Opened it. Cold night air rushed in. "What now?" he asked. "Now I go to a hotel. Sleep for the first time in a week. Wake up and call my lawyer." "And Sarah?" I looked back toward the bedroom. The sound of crying drifted through the closed door. She made her bed. Now she has to lie in it. Dimitri nodded. Stepped out into the night. Disappeared. I stood in my own living room for the last time. Looked at the couch where we'd watched movies. The kitchen where we'd made pancakes on Sundays. The hallway wall where we marked the kids' heights every birthday. Then I walked out. Closed the door. And didn't look back. The hotel room was cold. I set the thermostat to 75 and still couldn't stop shivering. It wasn't the temperature. It was everything else. I sat on the edge of the bed at 11:30 p.m. The 4K camera was on the nightstand. The duffel bag was on the floor. My phone buzzed every few minutes. Sarah. Then Mark. Then Sarah again. Then Mark's number from a different phone. Probably a friend's or a burner. I didn't read them. Not yet. I needed the night first. At midnight, I finally looked. Sarah had sent 23 texts. The first few were panicked. Then angry. Then bargaining. Then sad. Then angry again. The classic Kubler-Ross model of grief, compressed into 2 hours. Please come home. We can talk about this. You can't do this to the kids. They need you. Daniel, I'm scared. Please answer.
Fine.
Don't answer. But you're being dramatic. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything. Anything. Do you hear me? Anything. Please don't take them away from me. Fuck you. Fuck you for setting me up. Was any of it real? Did you ever love me? That last one almost made me laugh. Almost. Did I ever love her? I loved her so much I let her destroy me. I loved her so much I didn't see the warning signs for years. I loved her so much I turned myself into a ghost just to catch her in the act. Love wasn't the problem. Love was the reason this hurt. I scrolled past her messages. Mark had sent 11. You're dead. Do you hear me? You're fucking dead. That wasn't me. I never sent anyone. She's going to believe me. You set us both up. You're a psychopath. Answer your phone. We need to fix this.
Fine.
Keep hiding. But I know where you live. I know where your kids go to school. Last warning. Call me. That one, the one about the school, made my blood go cold. Not scared cold. Different cold. The kind of cold that comes before violence. I typed back to Mark. One message. 4 words. Touch them and vanish. He didn't reply. I turned off my phone. Lay down on the hotel bed. Stared at the ceiling. No camera here. No watching eyes. Just me and the hum of the air conditioner and the sound of my own breathing. I didn't sleep. But I rested. That was enough. At 7 a.m., I called my lawyer. His name is Robert Crane. 62 years old. Grey hair. Grey suits. Grey voice. He's been divorced twice himself, which means he knows exactly how bad it can get. Daniel, he said. You're calling early. What's going on? I need to file for divorce. Adultery. And I need to report a crime. What crime? My wife and her affair partner installed a hidden camera in our bedroom without my knowledge. They recorded me without consent. Multiple times. I have evidence. A long pause. Then, do you have the camera? I know exactly where it is. I haven't touched it. I wanted you to tell me how to preserve it as evidence. Don't touch it. Don't unplug it. Don't do anything. I'm sending a forensic investigator to your house this morning. Can you let him in? I don't live there anymore. Can Sarah let him in? I don't control what Sarah does. Another pause. Daniel, I need you to be straight with me. Did you do anything last night that could be used against you? Anything illegal? Anything that makes you look like the bad guy? I thought about Dimitri, the script, the fake texts, the overlay on Mark's stream, the circuit breaker. All of it carefully designed to be humiliating but not criminal.
No assault. No theft. No blackmail.
Just a husband who found out the truth and decided to show it to everyone at once. Everything I did was legal, I said. I recorded in my own home. I had a guest over. I didn't touch anyone. I didn't threaten anyone. I just watched. Watched what? My wife cheat on me with a stranger she thought her boyfriend sent. She consented to everything. Happily. Enthusiastically. It's all on video. Robert was quiet for a long time. Then he sighed. I've been doing this for 35 years. I thought I'd heard everything. I was wrong. Can you help me or not? I can help you. But Daniel, you need to hear something. Revenge feels good in the moment. I know. I've taken it myself. But it doesn't fix anything. It doesn't take away the pain. It just spreads it around. I don't want revenge. I want freedom. Then let me do my job. Don't talk to Sarah. Don't talk to Mark. Don't post anything online. Don't send the videos to anyone. Give me everything you have, and I'll handle it from here.
Fine.
One more thing. The kids. Where are they? With Sarah's mother. She took them Sunday. They're supposed to come home today. Don't let them come home. Not until the camera is removed and the house is secure. You don't want them near that. You don't want to explain to a 5-year-old why there's a spy camera in her parents' bedroom. I hadn't thought of that. The cold thing behind my eyes flickered. For a moment, I felt something else. Something warm. Something human. Fear. Not for me. For Maya and Leo. Can you help me get temporary custody? Filing the motion this afternoon. Don't worry. Judges don't like hidden cameras. Especially not around children. We hung up. I sat on the hotel bed and stared at the wall for an hour. At 9 a.m., I called Sarah's mother. Margaret. A good woman. Tough. Old school. She never liked Mark. I remembered her saying he had snake eyes at a family barbecue last summer. Margaret. It's Daniel. Daniel. Sarah called me last night. She was hysterical. Wouldn't tell me why. Is everyone okay?
No.
Everyone is not okay. But Maya and Leo, are they safe? Of course they're safe. They're eating pancakes. Leo wants extra syrup. Maya says she wants to stay another day. I need you to keep them. Just for a few days. Maybe a week. Can you do that? A pause. Then, Daniel, what happened? I told her. Not everything. But enough. The affair. The camera. The police report I was about to file. The divorce. Margaret didn't interrupt. Didn't gasp. Didn't cry. When I finished, she said 4 words. I'll keep the children. Thank you. Daniel. Yes. I'm sorry my daughter did this to you. I didn't raise her that way. Somewhere along the line, she got lost. She got found, Margaret. That's the problem. She found exactly who she wanted to be. I hung up, called the front desk, extended my stay for another week. Then I opened my laptop and started writing everything down. Every detail. Every date. Every text. Every hotel. Every time she came home late and kissed me with lips that had just been on someone else. This wasn't for Reddit. This was for the lawyer. For the judge. For the record. But somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew I'd post it eventually. Not for advice. Not for sympathy. For proof. That it happened. That I survived. That the man in the beige polo didn't die after all. He just got a lot more interesting. The next 3 days were a blur of paperwork, phone calls, and silence. I stayed in the hotel. Ate room service I couldn't taste. Slept in fits. Woke up at 3 a.m. every night with my heart racing and no memory of what I'd been dreaming. Val checked in daily. Mark's stream is still active, she told me on Thursday morning. He hasn't turned off the camera. I think he forgot it exists. Or he's hoping to catch something. He won't catch anything. I'm not going back there. Sarah is still in the house. She's been walking around naked, crying on the bed, talking to herself. It's sad, Daniel. I'm not going to lie. It's sad to watch. I don't want updates on her. You're getting them anyway, because I think you need to hear it. She's not having a good time. She's destroyed. Mark hasn't called her since that night. He's ghosted. Completely. Good.
No.
Not good. That's what cheaters do. They promise forever and disappear the second things get hard. She gave up her marriage for a man who won't even answer her texts. That's not justice. That's just tragedy. I didn't respond. Val was right, but I wasn't ready to feel sorry for Sarah. Maybe someday. Not today. On Friday, Robert called with updates. The forensic investigator recovered the camera. It's in evidence. We have the SD card and the stream logs. Mark's server has been subpoenaed. He's lawyered up. He has a lawyer. Borrowed one. Some public defender type. He doesn't have real money, Daniel. He's a fitness coach. His entire business is Instagram and hope. What about Sarah? She hasn't lawyered up yet. She's still in the house. Still not answering our calls. Her mother is handling communication. Margaret seems to be running damage control. Margaret is a good person. Margaret is a saint. She's also the only reason you're getting temporary custody without a fight. She testified that the children shouldn't be in that house until the camera situation is resolved. The judge agreed. I felt something loosen in my chest. The kids were safe. That was all that mattered. On Saturday, I did something stupid. I drove past my house. Not to stop. Not to talk. Just to see. To remind myself it was real. The house looked the same. Grey siding. White trim. The fence still needed painting. Waffles was in the front yard, lying on the grass, tail wagging at nothing. Sarah's car was in the driveway. Mark's car was not. I sat across the street for 10 minutes. Then the front door opened. Sarah stepped out. She was wearing sweatpants.
No makeup.
Her hair was in a messy bun. She looked thin. Tired. Smaller than I remembered. She walked to the mailbox. Pulled out the mail. Flipped through it. Stopped. She was looking at something. An envelope. Legal size. Thick. The divorce papers. She didn't cry. Didn't scream. Just stood there, holding the envelope, staring at it like it was written in a language she didn't understand. Then she looked up. Across the street. Directly at my car. She saw me. I saw her see me. For 5 seconds, neither of us moved. Then she raised her hand. A small wave. Hesitant. Hopeful. I started the engine. Drove away. Didn't look back. My phone rang 30 seconds later. Sarah. I let it ring. She didn't leave a voicemail. On Sunday, I moved out of the hotel and into a short-term rental. A small apartment on the other side of town. 2 bedrooms. 1 bathroom. A kitchen so small I could wash dishes and cook at the same time without moving my feet. It was perfect. Because it was mine. Not ours. Mine. I bought new sheets. New towels. New plates. Everything plain. White. Simple. The opposite of the life I'd left behind. On Monday, I saw the kids for the first time since everything happened. Margaret brought them to a park near my apartment. Neutral ground.
No lawyers. No cameras.
Just swings and slides and a man who missed his children more than he knew how to say. Maya ran to me first. Arms wide. Braids flying. Daddy. Grandma said you're living in a new house. Can I see it? Does it have a pool? No pool. Bug. But it has a really big window. You can watch the birds. I want a bird. Maybe someday. Leo clung to my leg. He's 3. He doesn't understand divorce or cameras or affairs. He only knows that Daddy wasn't there when he woke up, and now Daddy is here, and that's all that matters. I held them both for a long time. Longer than usual. Long enough that Maya asked if I was okay. I'm okay, Book. I'm just happy to see you. Daddy, why are your eyes wet? Allergies. You don't have allergies. I do now. We played for 2 hours. Swings. Slides. A game of tag that Leo won because he changed the rules halfway through. I took pictures. 37 of them. I would look at them later, in the dark, in my small apartment, and remind myself why I was doing all of this. Margaret sat on a bench. Watched. Didn't interfere. When the kids were distracted by a squirrel, she walked over to me. How are you really? She asked. I'm standing. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. She nodded. Looked at her grandchildren. Looked back at me. She wants to talk to you. Properly. Not text. Not phone. In person. I'm not ready. She's not either. But she's going to have to be. You have children together. You can't avoid her forever. I'm not avoiding her. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference. Margaret touched my arm. Squeezed once. You were the best thing that ever happened to my daughter. I told her that on her wedding day. I told her not to screw it up. She didn't listen.
No.
She didn't. She knows that now. Whether that matters anymore, that's up to you. She walked back to the bench. I watched the kids chase the squirrel. Leo fell down. Didn't cry. Got back up. That night, alone in my apartment, I opened the folder. The one with all the evidence. Screenshots. Messages. Hotel receipts.
Camera logs.
The video from the closet. I didn't watch the video. I didn't need to. I remembered every frame. Instead, I started writing. Not for the lawyer. For me. For this post. For anyone who had ever been made to feel small by someone who promised to love them. I wrote for 8 hours. Stopped when my fingers cramped. Started again when the sun came up. This is what I wrote. You're reading it now. 2 months later. I'm in my small apartment. The kids are asleep in the second bedroom. Waffles is curled at my feet. The window is open. Spring is finally here. A lot has happened since that night. Sarah signed the divorce papers 6 weeks ago.
No contest.
No fight. Her lawyer advised her to take the deal. Full custody to me, supervised visitation for her, the house sold and proceed split. The camera was the nail in the coffin. A felony charge would have meant prison. She chose freedom over pride. Mark disappeared. Deactivated his Instagram. Closed his gym. His landlord says he moved out in the middle of the night. Left behind a closet full of protein powder and a broken window. I don't know where he is. I don't care. Val still checks in. She's become a friend. The strangest friend I've ever had, but a friend nonetheless. She tests my apartment for cameras sometimes. A habit I can't shake. She says it's not paranoia when you've actually been watched. Dimitri sent me a postcard from Thailand. He's doing research for a role. I don't ask questions. Margaret brings the kids to my place every other weekend. She doesn't mention Sarah unless I ask. I don't ask. But Maya does. She's 5. She notices things. Where does Mommy live now? Not far, Bug. She has a new apartment. Can we visit? Sometimes. Soon. When is soon? Soon, Bug. I promise. It's the only promise I've made that I'm not sure I can keep. Therapy helps. I go twice a week. A woman named Dr. Reyes who specializes in betrayal trauma. She tells me I'm not broken, just bent. She tells me revenge is a wave. It feels powerful while you're riding it, but eventually it crashes and you have to swim back to shore. She doesn't approve of the Dimitri thing, but she understands it. You needed to take back your power, she said last session. You did it in a way that was theatrical and risky and probably not healthy. But you did it. And now you're here. Now you're healing. That's what matters.
I'm healing.
Slowly. In fits and starts. Some days I wake up angry. Some days I wake up sad. Some days I wake up and forget for 5 seconds, and then I remember, and it's like drowning all over again. But most days, I just wake up. Make coffee. Get the kids ready for school. Go to work. Come home. Make dinner. Read stories. Tuck them in. Sit in the dark and breathe. It's not a revenge story anymore. It's a survival story. The camera is in evidence. The video is locked away. The messages are printed and filed. I don't look at them anymore. I don't need to. They live in my head, but they're getting quieter. Fading. Like old photographs left in the sun. Sarah calls sometimes. I answer when it's about the kids. I don't answer when it's about us. There is no us. There's just 2 people who used to love each other, and now have to figure out how to be strangers who share a last name on a birth certificate. She asked me once, in a voicemail I accidentally listened to, if I missed her. I didn't call back. But the answer is yes. I miss who I thought she was. I miss the woman who laughed like wind chimes falling downstairs. I miss the life I thought we were building. But that woman didn't exist. That life was a dream I had while I was awake. And now I'm awake for real. Last week, Maya asked me a question. We were making pancakes. Sunday morning. Sunlight through the window. Leo was trying to pour syrup directly into his mouth. Daddy, are you sad?
No, Bug.
Why would I be sad? Because you don't laugh anymore. Not the way you used to. I put down the spatula. Knelt down so I was eye level with her. You're right. I haven't been laughing much. But I'm going to try harder. Okay. Okay. Can we get a bird? Let's start with the laughing. She hugged me. Tight and quick. The way she does when she's pretending not to be emotional. She gets that from me. That night, I went for a walk. Alone. The streets were quiet. The stars were out. I walked for an hour. 2 hours. I didn't know where I was going. I just needed to move. I ended up at the park. The same park where Margaret brought the kids. Empty now. Just swings creaking in the wind and a fountain that had been turned off for the night. I sat on a bench. Looked up at the sky. And I laughed. Not because anything was funny. Because I was still here. Because I had survived. Because the man in the beige polo didn't die in that bedroom. He just took off the polo and put on something else. Something darker. Something sharper. Something real. I don't know what comes next. I don't know if I'll ever trust anyone again. I don't know if love is something I'm capable of anymore, or if that part of me was cut out and left in that house. But I know one thing. I'm free. No camera watching. No lies to untangle. No texts to decode. No wondering who she's with, what she's doing, who she's pretending I am. Just me. The kids. Waffles. The small apartment. The open window. The spring air. It's not the life I wanted. But it's mine. And I'm not giving it up for anyone. Thanks for reading. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being there when I had no one else to tell. If you're going through something like this, if you've been betrayed, humiliated, made small by someone who promised to love you, I see you. I was you. Don't let them win. Don't let them take your laugh. Don't let them convince you that you were the problem. You weren't. You never were. Now if you'll excuse me, I have pancakes to make. Maya wants a bird. Leo wants more syrup. Waffles wants a walk. And I want to live. For the first time in a long time, I actually want to live.